Okay, so first, thanks to Tim and Trish and Breck and Kathy, Marissa, and Michelle for inviting me here today. Thanks for that introduction. And for those of you who aren't from Cleveland, welcome to Cleveland. So it's the home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Playhouse Square, Cleveland Browns, Cleveland Indians, and the Cleveland Cavs. Hey, we still support them. So again, but most importantly for us, I'm a little biased, is it's also the home for the 9th Coast Guard District's Great Lakes headquarters. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Hopefully fill you in a little bit on what we do here in the district, and our offices are right in the federal building right around the corner. If anyone wants to visit while they're here, just let me know. So first thing I'd like to say, having this Crude Symposium is a good thing. The Sea Grant Network, Great Lakes Commission, and International Joint Commission staffs correctly sense that there's a groundswell of issues, groundswell, let's see if it works here, triggered by production and transportation of oil throughout the Midwestern region. So, the groundswell of issues associated with Great Lakes, with transportation and production of oil throughout the Midwest region. And like a number of you, I've been attending the State of Michigan's Pipeline Safety Advisory Board meetings over the last couple of years, and it's really interesting to see that over the last couple of years, the public participation and interest went from a couple people at the meeting to maybe a dozen, to a couple dozen. Well, we found that we really truly arrived at this last one, pulling up to the Michigan Department of Energy's building, and there's tour buses outside, with people just loaded up, ready to come to the meeting. So definitely a lot of interest in the meetings, and that just shows, I think, the level of interest. So, the Sea Grant, GLC, and IJC staffs know that the concerns are not going away anytime soon without action, and they've taken the initiative to assume a leadership role. So kudos to the staffs, but also kudos to all of you for being here today, for understanding the importance of prevention, preparedness, and response, and have committed to bringing your collective experience and expertise to the table. Collectively, we can use those to find an optimal way forward. So this afternoon, I'll share with you how the Coast Guard, working with our federal, state, provincial, industry, tribal, and local partners, helps protect and ensure the sustainable use of the binational treasure we call the Great Lakes. Our continual pursuit of new technologies and how we can put those into practice via our relationships is a key aspect. In recognition of the importance and value of our system of interconnected and independent waterways and these maritime interests, the Coast Guard is charged with maintaining the safety, security, and stewardship of these waters. The 9th District, with its dedicated teams of active duty, reserve, civil service, auxiliary members, work very hard to do this on the Great Lakes and the Seaway. Okay, so here's a little breakdown of some of our relationships here. So here we are, the Great Lakes headquarters. So we have 3 federal regions with EPA. We work with EPA. So Region 5 is basically the 5 westernmost states in the region. Then we have a little piece of Region 3, which is Pennsylvania's Erie, Pennsylvania, and Region 2 up in New York. So we see also NOAA's plurals are a very important piece of that. The 8 states in the region, numerous tribal, county, industry, so a lot of important parties that we work with. It's a really complex system that we deal with. So. Okay, so the Coast Guard's ability to conduct distinct but interrelated maritime functions, 11 mission areas in all, coupled with its broad authorities, gives the service its multi-mission character, its strength, and its value to our nation. We are a regulator, we are enforcers of law, we are a first responder, we protect natural resources, we facilitate transportation, we perform humanitarian operations, and we're a member of the armed forces. The 9th District enjoys a unique vantage point with mission responsibility from the Lakewood Woods, Minnesota to Messina, New York. We are the only federal agency singularly organized around the Great Lakes system. Outside the region, and even some places inside our region, the geography, size, and strategic importance of the Great Lakes are not always well understood. Of course, those who live and work here, we know better. There are 3 characteristics of the Great Lakes to keep in mind, remembered by the 3 S's. System, shared, seasonal, and if I depart from my usual rule of 3s in presentations, and most importantly for us, it's sensitive. We consider the Great Lakes a national treasure. Fresh water does not equal salt water when it comes to the consequences of dealing with pollution. More areas of the country are envious of our water, and with good reason. Lakes are a magnificent natural resource and are a bountiful supply for all uses and enjoyment. And our families drink, use, and recreate with the same Great Lakes water that all of you do. So prevention is the first of the three underpinnings of our operations on the lakes. And and an extensive regulatory regime is in place to accomplish that. However, if we are collectively unable to prevent a casualty or incident, we have to be prepared to react or respond to the consequences of that event. That's why we train, drill, and exercise with a plethora of contingency plans that industry and government maintain. I like to say that we have the ability to respond to all hazards, which takes us to the third leg of our operational triad, which is response. We have agile, adaptable, and readily operational capabilities. We will rely on our support systems to ensure our cutters, boats, and helicopters are maintained and ready to go when called. Our motto is Semper Paratus, which is always ready. The overall objective, as I said, of the marine transportation industry is to prevent an incident that could result in the loss of fuel oil, cargo, or other substance that could impact the marine environment. If our collective preventive programs fail to do so, we have to be prepared to respond to that incident, first stop the release, and then contain and recover the product. So ship operators are required to have vessel response plans, place to put this here, and facilities that handle bulk transfer of oil chemicals are required to have facility response plans. Just a couple of those there. As potential responsible parties, their participation is critical, and these companies' response personnel and equipment are mobilized for their respective plans. We have a number of those in the room today, so thanks for being here. At the conclusion of drills and exercises, lessons learned are incorporated back into regional, local, and industry-held plans, and a feedback loop seeking continuous improvement. So preparedness. What is it, preparedness? So I don't know if anyone's ever seen this before. So I'm just going to go through this because it's just kind of interesting. So as I've been asked to explain our disaster preparedness plan. In the event of famine, turn your keyboard upside down and shake. If it's anything like mine, you'll find a half a pound of crumbs. In the event of an alien invasion, your best bet is to kill a coworker to show your allegiance to the lizard people. In the event of an impending collision with an asteroid, try running in place while the Earth rotates. If you time it right, you'll be on the other side when the asteroid hits. To prepare for every other type of disaster, I recommend cultivating a taste for human flesh. So your presentation of disaster, and next time you'll be prepared for it. So for those of us who live in the preparedness world and have dealt a lot with area contingency plans, regional contingency plans, national contingency plans, and every permutation combination thereof, you know what I'm talking about. You sit through, go through voluminous mounds of paper and say, is anybody ever going to use this plan? But really, they're key, and the process of doing those plans and connecting relationships really is key. So, as many of you know, area committees are the heart of our collective execution of the National Contingency Plan. Area committees are where technology, people, systems, and preparedness all intersect. With that in mind, we just completed an effort to renew coastal area contingency plans across the Great Lakes region. The district, with cooperation of all the area committees, regional response teams, industry, and partners, undertook this initiative to ensure that all ACPs within the Great Lakes contain consistent, standard, programmatic guidance that applies to all the area committees in a consistent way. These ACPs optimize the processes and systems by which our planners and responders protect our environment. So we've come a long way from the days on lakes where there was widespread, indiscriminate pollution. Again, I think it's very fitting we're here in Cleveland, the famous burning river, and kind of what Lake Erie looked like. I grew up on Lake Erie in the 70s, and I remember what it looked like. I think we truly have come a long way. Although oil discharges are generally infrequent and relatively small in size in the region, there's no such thing as a minor spill in the lakes and into the primary source of drinking water for 30 million residents of the U.S. and Canada. We cannot get complacent and must be ready to respond. So this was a little bit of an eye chart, but really the key here is, so these are all areas of the country from 91 through 2011. Really the Great Lakes portion of it is almost can't even find it. So the key message here is we're very small and compared to the Gulf Coast, for example. But we also have much more reason to be particularly vigilant here with our fresh water. As many of you remember, we recently had an opportunity to exercise components of our contingency plans, including our binational annex with Canada, in 2015's complex response to the sunken tank barge Argo. As a refresher, this barge was loaded with different petroleum products, and it sank in a storm in October of 1937 in western Lake Erie. It went undiscovered, and the location wasn't known for decades after that. Before its discovery in August of 2015, NOAA had categorized the barge as the biggest legacy environmental threat to the lakes due to the uncertainty of the cargo types and quantity. The precise location of the wreck had maintained a mystery until private divers located a few miles south of the suspected last known position. We thought it might actually be in Canadian waters, but it was found it was actually in the U.S. waters. And incidentally, we had just done our joint U.S.-Canada exercise on the Argo the year before, so it was very timely. However, we exercised in Canadian waters. Same people, just different location. So during the initial assessment dive, a small release of its cargo was detected that was incidentally strong enough to etch through the mask and the suit of the diver that was doing the assessment. And soon after, efforts to remove the risks to Lake Erie posed by this barge were underway. Coast Guard, EPA, Ohio EPA, and 11 other federal, state, local, and Canadian agencies and salvage organizations teamed up in a response that lasted into December of 2015. Although the barge was only 40 feet of water a few miles east of Kelly's Island, visibility was less than 2 feet at most times, and the growing wind and waves of approaching winter challenged the divers. A particularly strong concentration of the benzol product on board necessitated the use of hazmat suits by divers and topside personnel during the operation. Since there was no identified or likely living owner or responsible party, funding was made available from the Oil Spill Liability Trust Fund and the Hazardous Materials Super Fund. Each tank was hot tapped by divers, and the cargo water mix was pumped up from the barge to tanks stored on a work barge. A total of 10 transfers were completed over the course of 5 days without incident, and a total of 33,000 gallons of mixed water and product were safely removed. This was a huge operational success, and a tragedy for the Great Lakes was averted because of this effort. This response is a great example because it illustrates the many disparate parties and elements that come together during an emergency and work toward a common cause of protecting our environment. Contingency plans prepared in advance connected with the responders, managers, and the technology to enable a depth response and a good recovery. Now, as many of you are aware, the United States and much of North America is undergoing an energy renaissance. This is due in large part to massive expansion in production from Canadian oil sands, yielding heavy oils such as diluted bitumen or dilbit that can cause response challenges, but also in products such as Bakken crude, natural gas, shale oil, even wind energy, which has gained momentum. This energy renaissance is a good thing, bringing an increase in energy supply and additional options for export. It also allows us to achieve less dependence on energy imports into America. But this increase in production must be safely transported by some means for refining, distributing, and end use. And unless you walked or rode a bike or a horse to get here, you understand that we need this up. From the environmental perspective, we wish we never needed to move hazardous materials in the first place. But the facts of economy and modern life demand that we deal with the risks that come with energy production and transportation. It's fitting that we're talking about the risks of energy and transportation here in our region. Because of our geography and the locations of many of these sources, the Midwest and the Great Lakes lie at a virtual crossroads of production, transportation, and distribution. And because these activities carry some inherent risks with them, we are faced with some tough questions on how to deal with the hopefully rare situations that occur when something goes wrong. And with fresh water being slightly less dense than saltwater, non-floating oils can behave differently here than on the saltwater coasts. We believe that fast response time makes a difference, along with an industry that is prepared to address the unique risks. The Coast Guard also recently revamped the process for oil spill removal organizations, or OSROs, to become certified to respond to non-floating oil. The first few OSROs have already been certified under the new regime. Given the special challenges posed by spills from rail lines and pipelines that traverse the region, our field commanders have concentrated their drill and exercise programs on scenarios involving probable and worst-case scenarios from these sources. We've also increased our cooperation and coordination with the Federal Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration, or PHMSA. We have met with the PHMSA administrator during one of our recent exercises, and our discussion has resulted in an agreement to become more involved in the review of plans submitted. In addition to our normal duties protecting the environment, we have commenced a multi-year assessment of oil spill preparedness and response on the Great Lakes. Recognizing increasing rail and pipeline petroleum transportation trends stemming from this energy renaissance, we are conducting a review of existing research and development, an evaluation of pollution threats, potential impacts to environments, and a review of combined public-private government ability to respond to releases. The key findings are expected to be available via a report to Congress later this year, and we're just with some of the people in this room, we've been going over that recently as yesterday. Much of what we do on the lakes is watermarked, if you will, by our regular and strong cooperation with our Canadian partners. Our shared responsibility for the stewardship of the waters of the Great Lakes includes pollution preparedness and response. U.S. and Canada maintain a bilateral joint marine contingency plan, which ensures coordination, planning, preparedness, and response to oil or harmful substances in the contiguous waters of the two nations. The Great Lakes Geographic Annex, or Canyon-SLAC plan, is our operational annex and covers the Great Lakes boundary, defines the Canyon-SLAC Joint Response Team, and is regularly tested and improved in order to facilitate an efficient response across the border. Our district commander recently resigned the Canyon-SLAC Annex along with her Canadian counterpart, Assistant Commissioner Julie Gascon. As part of that update, we included a groundbreaking new concept of the International Coordinating Officer, the first of its kind for both nations under pollution response. So again, this is the sign up here. That was the Argo, which was under this plan. We'll talk a minute about this, one of our GIS systems that we worked on. We have been working closely with our Canadian counterparts because the Great Lakes are obviously a shared natural resource in the transportation system. Regardless of whether these products originate in Canada or the US, if they are being transported via the lakes, they are a concern for all of us. We know that our friends to the north are looking at this too, and thank you for being here today. It's vitally important that all who hold a stake in the issue have their voices heard, from environmental groups, state, local, tribal governments, to US EPA, St. Lawrence Management and Development Corporations, and of course various industry. All perspectives need to be considered. This forum is a great opportunity for doing that. Because the Coast Guard does not regulate other transportation modes, which are in the realm of EPA, DOT, and PHMSA, we pledge to work through groups such as the RRTs, the Regional Response Teams, which Region 5 is shown here, to ensure that we're all on the same page regarding preparedness. We're committed to ensuring that Coast Guard application of these laws and regulations not only meets the intent, but does so in a way that best protects our environment while still allowing commerce to flow. Additionally, on the technology front, the Coast Guard has conducted a good deal of research and development on all these issues. In particular, the R&D Center has done a lot of work on the topic of response to oil spills in an ice or winter environment. Much of the work was accomplished in the Straits of Mackinac, and the reports are also available online. And we also recently released our Federal On-Scene Coordinator's Guide for this based on that research. We have learned a lot as a result of these R&D studies, but we agree that there is still work to be done on making the technology more capable and available. Another area that we made great technological strides is recently the electronic mapping of key data, pre-event contingency plans, and real-time incident particulars. We are presently adapting NOAA's Environmental Response Management Application, or IRMA as it's known, for Great Lakes response. We had great success during the Argo response, and then since then have been loading all of our geographic response strategies and environmentally sensitive areas into the platform. We even had success incorporating our Canadian partners' GIS into IRMA for a seamless binational common operating picture, which is no small feat. So again, this was from the Argo response, so the Argo is right in the center there. We're able to load, so sometimes you talk about the translation difficulties of different information systems. We're able to get the Canadian environmental layers loaded right into the US system, and we're able to look at both and work on protection strategies for both sides of the border at the same time. Suffice to say, it's a big, dynamic system that no one entity can control. We each have our roles working together under the National Contingency Plan. We should all maximize the opportunity provided by this forum to move those forward. Let's create new relationships with other stakeholders or improve on those we already have. Let's listen intently to the latest information our experts have to offer on the topics. Let's put ourselves in the shoes of someone with a different viewpoint and see a different perspective. Let's leave here with a commitment to take decisive action within our lifelines to help make the path ahead clearer. So let me close by saying thank you for your continued cooperation and input on pollution prevention and response issues. Thank you for being on the leading edge of environmental stewardship. At the end of the day, we serve the American and Canadian people, and those people need jobs, goods, and services delivered on time, raw materials for factories, and the energy to make those factories work. We also need to protect the natural resources we have been blessed with to sustain our way of life and improve our future. The people sitting in this room, the organizations represented here, help make those things happen for Canada and the United States. And I know my bosses understand that all the way to the top. So while we continue to carry out our function as regulators and responders, we strive to do so in a way that facilitates communication, acknowledges the importance of your role in regional and national economies. In exchange, I challenge you to stay laser focused on safety and environmental stewardship. Thanks for your opportunity to speak today, and I'm available for any questions about anything you just saw. Thanks.